Hi, it's Catherine with my Freedom Soup diet. So I rotated to go in landscape. There, we're all set. Freedom Soup is very simply a bone broth cabbage soup. The cabbage soup diet has been around for decades. Very effective if you need some speedy water release and weight loss. This is an update on that, making it very simple with bone broth. And one of the reasons it's very simple is you're going to use an already prepared bone broth as the base of the soup. This is the Zoop, really good bone broth, chicken, all natural, GMO-free, hormone-free, and gluten-free. So I just got this at my local supermarket. This is a 31-ounce jar, and that's going to be the base of the recipe. The other ingredients are olive oil, a tablespoon of olive oil is going in the pan. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. So that's going to be on medium heat. So as you can see, that's a large soup pot with a lid so that I can saute the vegetables in there and then just pour the broth in and be ready to go. So helps with cleanup too. A tablespoon of olive oil is warming up in the pan. Next in that pan is going to go half an onion chopped, and chop it as fine as you want it, whatever you enjoy. If you like your soup a little bit chunkier, you're not going to chop it as fine. I do find you want to chop it at least, you can see how small those pieces are. Chop it at least that small. Don't leave your pieces too big. I really find it's a little bit more satisfying, a little bit easier to spoon up if the pieces aren't too large. So half of an onion chopped, I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And that's going to go right into the olive oil. And ideally a wooden spoon. There's one. So we're using a wooden spoon and we're stirring it around in the olive oil in the bottom of the pot. Nice big surface area here, so it's going to cook pretty quickly. Other ingredients, what's going to go in next? 3 chopped celery ribs, and I use organic ones, and I also want to find ribs that have some leaves. Some leaves still on them. I like some leaves in there. Chopped pretty small. There's a representative piece to show you how small I'm chopping those. And like I said, if you can get the organic celery that's still got some leaves on it, get the leaves in there. And I tried to get it all in a ramekin, it wouldn't fit. So probably about a cup, but it's 3 stalks. After the celery goes in and starts to cook, it'll start to get fragrant, then you're going to a basket of sliced mushrooms. So just the basket of sliced white mushrooms that you get at the grocery store, and then you're gonna chop them up a little bit more, chopped up a little bit finer than they were at the grocery store. And then, of course, a very important ingredient, 2 cups of chopped cabbage. I once tried to make a cabbage soup with purple cabbage, and it came out a really interesting color. You can try that if you want, but if you want it to look conventional, just go with the white cabbage. I'm going to go ahead and stir. All right, so those onions are starting to get clear, translucent. The aroma is starting to come up. The next ingredient is going to be the celery. In it goes. In goes the celery. I like making cooking videos. One of the reasons I like making cooking videos is that you can wear aprons. Don't have to worry about what to wear. This is what I wore to teach my fitness class this morning. Got my apron on. So I've turned the flame down to low medium instead of medium. You can hear it sizzling in there. But I don't want it to burn to the bottom. It's not too hot. Take a look at what we've got in there. Tiny bit of browning going on. See the flame? All right. I'll get out my hot pads for safety. Gloves, they really do goes the mushrooms. Just 6 ingredients. We want to make our solutions as simple as possible, but no simpler, correct? So the 6 ingredients make it tasty and effective without, we don't want anything that we do on the Sugar Freedom program. None of the cooking on Sugar Freedom is going to be overwhelming. So it's not going to be high-level gourmet. We want to keep it very simple so you're actually willing to do it. Many of us aren't really comfortable with making recipes and cooking. Some of you are, but for those of you who aren't, and for those of you who are very busy, and I'll tell you, if I pull up a recipe and I see it's just got this long list of ingredients, I find that quite intimidating, and I'm generally not going to make that recipe. So that's cooking up. We'll let that cook a little bit longer, talk a little bit about the philosophy of the Freedom Soup diet. What I have found getting off of sugar and grains and processed vegetable oils is that my appetite adjusted to the point where I was very simply eating 3 meals a day with no snacks in between. I'm very busy. I work in the theater, so that means that shows go on at night, and I also work in community theater and non-professional theater, so rehearsals aren't during the day usually for these kinds of theaters. Rehearsals are at night as well as the shows. So I'm, finishing my work day, and then I'm getting to rehearsal by 6:30 or 7. Not interested in having a big dinner, but very often interested in having something. Very often, some of the diets that have been so famous over the years, cabbage soup diet being one of them, Slim Fast being another, not that ever worked for me, was this concept of replacing a big meal with something smaller that you were going to eat. So with Slim Fast, it was you would drink a shake. With the Freedom Soup diet, if you wish, you're going to replace one of your 3 meals during the day with the cabbage soup. So if you've got something to do at night, which I do, you can have a bowl of this before you head out to rehearsal or to whatever your event or whatever your hobby is if you do it at night. Another thing you can do with it is if you are not a breakfast eater, I happen to be one, but if you're not, what you can do is you can eat this for breakfast, and that will actually give you some energy, it'll give you sodium and give you the electrolytes you need. The other thing that this is very important for is that if you do go keto and you get keto flu or low carb flu, this will put back your sodium and electrolytes, which will make you feel a lot better. On top of that, I was told by a friend of mine that as we lose weight, obviously we want to keep, get plenty of liquids and just get plenty of liquids in general, and so this is another way to get that done. So here goes the cabbage, 2 cups of cabbage. In it goes. Smells very nice. Very homey, old-fashioned. So this can be used as a meal replacement. It can also be used as a craving crusher. I've turned the heat down to low. What do I mean by a craving crusher? Even though I've been off of sugar and grains and vegetable oil for a long time, sometimes I still get this strange sense of craving for carbs, usually with an emotional connection. Maybe somebody's had a birthday and I wish I could eat what they were eating, or somebody's having, a special candy or something along those lines, and I'll start to think about, I want something. And if this soup is ready to go and I can grab this, I can have a bowl of this, and very often it gives me enough time for the craving to pass. I've seen research, and just anecdotally, when you do crave sugar, very often it takes about 10 minutes for the craving to go away. I used to be a smoker, And I haven't had a cigarette since the year 2000, so yay, 18 years. But when I was smoking, what I was told, and getting over that if you could get through those 10 minutes, so deep breathing, distraction. So the Freedom Soup is kind of a distraction from craving. And what I say to my coaching clients and my readers is have something, what I would call an emergency food, that if the craving hits and you're trying to convince yourself not to reach for whatever that trigger food is or for whatever you're craving, have an emergency food, have a serving of this instead, wait 10 minutes, and truly, I can't tell you how many times I've reached for bone broth or Freedom Soup and found a wonderful feeling of peace, and then I was able to go on with my day or my evening or whatever I was planning without eating a food that was not on my food plan. I'm gonna grab a knife so that I can open this up. You'll notice I'm not putting any seasonings in. The only seasonings I add is when I do serve it and I get ready to eat it, a little bit of salt, sea salt to taste, a little bit of pepper, but I'm not gonna season it in the bowl. Let me grab a knife. That's how I open my jars. Don't break the jar, plunk it, break the seal. Oh, I didn't break the seal. Whoops, don't wanna break the glass. Oh, there it goes. Did you hear it? All right, now I'm gonna pour it in. Nice and easy, right in the center, and in it goes. Steaming up. Oh, that is the perfect amount, just the right amount in the pot. Gonna stir the pot, literally. Oh, it looks wonderful. Now, if you're in a hurry to eat it, you could eat a serving of this in as soon as 20 minutes. But you're gonna notice it's not gonna taste nearly as delicious if you're gonna put it on the back burner and you're gonna let it simmer for 40 minutes. And then the flavors are gonna meld. If you wanna eat it right away, you can, but understand it's not gonna be as flavorful until you let it cook. I don't necessarily feel that you have to bring it back to a boil. If you want to, you can. I generally don't. I just have it all mixed in there. There we go. And so the back burner is a simmer burner. So I'm going to turn that on, put it on the lowest flame. And I'm going to pick this up and just kind of show you what it looks like in the pot. There we go. And if I tilt it, yep, I think you can see everything mixed around. Very, plenty of broth, plenty of fluid in there. Putting it on that back burner, turning off the front burner, and covering it with a lid. And then I'm gonna go 40 minutes. You could go 60. And in 40 minutes, you're going to have not just a wonderful soup, but a wonderful tool to end cravings, get you over keto flu. Really, really hope that you will make it. I will write up the recipe and post it at catherinetraining.com. So once again, that's a jar of Zoop chicken bone broth, and then just the 6 ingredients. Olive oil, you're gonna saute the onion in the olive oil, and then you're gonna add celery, the mushrooms, cabbage, and the soup. The seasoning, so there is some seasoning done in here. Let me go ahead, read the ingredients to you. And of course, please feel free to make your own bone broth from scratch, obviously, and then add these ingredients to it. Oh, also, if you're vegetarian or vegan, it would be so easy to do this as a vegetarian dish. All you would have to do is a vegetable broth instead of a bone broth. So what we have in here, oh, that's interesting. So this has water, chicken bone broth. So it does have natural flavor, yeast extract, and sea salt. Oh, you guys. I am afraid that, yeah, when you see natural flavor and yeast extract, it could be, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but so that is the difficulty. I mean, if you want to know exactly what's going into your broth, you have to make it yourself. That being said, I know with my lifestyle, I simply don't have time for that. So I went ahead and used that as a base. On top of that, my husband really likes this soup. My son hasn't tried it yet, but my husband has not really ever had a weight problem, although he did lose 30 pounds on Sugar Freedom a few years ago and has pretty much kept it off. But he eats more of a conventional diet. He eats what I cook for him as a base, and then he'll add some carbs on top of that. But I cooked up some of this and he finished half of it. He really enjoyed it. One of the things that's very important on Sugar Freedom, on any low carb diet, on any, even any ketogenic diet, unless you're, at any rate, having the vegetables ready to go. As someone who is following a low carb ketogenic approach, I'm staying below 30 grams of total carbohydrates a day, sometimes below 20. So I'm on the lookout for the vegetables that are going to give me, you know, something tasty and that I'm going to enjoy, but that's not going to put me over that number. And sometimes that requires a lot of shopping and a lot of chopping and a lot of work. And so something like this, I can make it once and then I've got many servings of vegetables to go after that. So thank you for watching this video about Freedom Soup and the Freedom Soup diet, and I hope you make the soup and I hope you enjoy it. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel so you can get more recipes. And if you want more information about my fitness services, I design fitness programs, and I also do nutritional coaching because I am a certified fitness nutrition specialist. Go to katherinetraining.com. You can leave me an email, send me a message, and so if you want a program designed just for you. Thanks everybody. Until next time, I'm Katherine Bess Gordon in the Sugar Freedom Kitchen. Oh, the entire Sugar Freedom program is available at sugarfreedom.com. Thanks everybody.